Alright, sorry for the backlighting. This is a really poor video, but I haven't put up any Sax Geek videos lately. I hope you all are surviving the pandemic and doing what your governments and your doctors tell you to do. Here in America, things are getting a little dicey, despite us having doctors and smart people, but we're not here to talk about that. That was some choruses on Stella by Starlight on tenor. And I'm trading choruses with myself between just playing bebop language and straight ahead and playing attempting Garzone, George Garzone's triadic chromatic concept. He's been putting up some videos on his YouTube page. Check out George Garzone and subscribe. George is not only one of the greatest tenor players alive right now, if not the, he's a funny guy, and his concept is great, and it's also open. You know, George just wants you to have fun and play music, and it's not. It's just is what it is. You know, he's a funny guy. His videos are great, and he's very personable, and he makes you feel like you can do it. You know, and you can. So check out those videos, and what he's talking about in some of these videos is taking a major third interval and playing all the notes in between, but trying not to go above the third or below the root. Try and stay within that third. So what I was trying to do, and you can go back and listen, I'm not making it, but I'm trying it, is to try to do that in some places. Now, when you're playing a song that has a lot of chord changes, what major third are you trying to stay in? And does it have to move with the chords, or does it stay the same? I mean, those are the questions. But I think through trial and error, you find what works, and through listening to George and listening to people like John Coltrane and Wayne Shorter and some of the modern saxophonists where these concepts are coming from, you know, George's concept is a way of looking at some things that have been influential on him, I think, and some ways that he's adapted. I mean, George has very much his own sound, not only on the saxophone, which is very important, but also harmonic-wise. So it's interesting to think about how he plays and how it relates to what came before him. And that's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to play the way we play in reference to all of our influences and all the music that we love, the things that have come before us. So that is what I was trying to do just there. I'm going to do a little more. And I'm waiting on some reeds. This is the airflow that I had refaced. I haven't done really another video on it. I'm still playing it. It plays pretty good. I'm currently in the process of going down to softer reeds. I'm playing on 4s across the board for a long, long time. And I'm looking for something different. I've been playing in a little more of a relaxed fashion. And so I've been changing reeds a little bit. And with the pandemic and everything, it's hard to get reeds, and the shipping is slow. So that's what I'm waiting for, is some fresh reeds. This reed was okay. That reed was okay. I switched to this one. Let's see how this one plays. Alright, that reed is soft, but it's sealing up. I just put a whole bunch of older reeds in the water, and a lot of them were warped and weren't sealing up on the mouthpiece, and then I just can't play them. Some guys have huge lungs, can blow through that. For me, I need a reed to seal up properly. Anyway, talking a little more about that triadic thing. Now, the way to really get into this would be to study with George or seek out any materials he's written, follow his page. I am no expert. I've known George a long time, and I'm fortunate to live in Boston and see him play a lot, which has really been a huge influence on me. Sometimes I'm playing closer to the sound of his concept when I'm not thinking about it. When I'm thinking about it, I'm not doing it right. And there's no right? Music is what it is. Music is subject to your personality and your perspective. So George is talking about playing in a third, G to B right there. So then I'm going to try and play other places in there within that. So G to A, G sharp, B flat, whatever. Let's try it. See, I went above it. I went to a C. We're not supposed to do that in the concept. I like that one. So trying to not go above the B and not go above the G. How does that, however, relate to the part of this song I was playing? And that's the hard part. Is finding, and by listening to George and transcribing George, by learning, that's how you figure out how he's actually doing it, right? Because a great master like George Garzone is not just playing a harmonic concept. He's also quoting other songs and things that he's listened to. He's playing literally out of key sometimes. He'll play something that's just like blatantly half step up or whatever. So a man like George isn't just playing a concept. He's playing all kinds of musical ideas and things. So if you take George's thing at face value, you know, then you're missing other things that he's doing when he plays. So that's why you must listen to him and other people that play. You know, listen to as much music as you can. And now we're in pandemic times, so we've got the time to listen as much as we can. I tend to be a little lazy when it comes to listening, but it's very important. So I'm going to do a few more choruses. This video is already long enough. I'll try to put a few more Sax Geek videos up. You know, personally, I'm just trying to play as much as I can. We're not able to play with other people right now, which is really tough. I miss playing with bass and drums and piano and guitar, all my friends that I get to play with. So check out my band Clear Audience. We have some albums out, available, I think, Bandcamp and different places. So check out Clear Audience. So let's do a few more choruses on this tune, and I'll try and be really blatant about straight ahead and concept, triadic concept, chromatic triadic concept. I'm not doing it right. Look, this is something that I don't practice a lot, playing someone else's concept, because I generally find that left to my own devices, I play the way I always play. But I had some time, and George's videos are hilarious, and he's great. So this has gotten me inspired to work on a tune I don't normally play, which is Stella by Starlight, and to work on trying at least the concept. So let's roll it. All right, so there's two quick choruses, a little slower tempo, one straight ahead and one attempting triadic chromatic concept. You know, maybe a phone call to George. Hey, what, how, where? You know, what chord do you base it on? At the very end of the thing, it ends on B flat. So for the last 4 bars, I was thinking of using that B flat to concert B flat to D, or C to E on tenor. And doing that for the whole bottom line, so that's your goal, because this is moving at a chord a minute, so a chord per bar, a lot of it, and then so where do you pick the triad from? That's the question. Let's do another couple choruses. Again, straight ahead first, attempting the concept second. There were a few moments where I felt like I was able to hone in on a triad and stay within it in relation to a particular chord. At other points, maybe you hold it out and it's more about the shapes and it's not about sticking to the chords. I was kind of like letting it ride, and then, okay, now we're at F minor, starting again at F minor. Because if you've got a 2-5, you've got a major third in the minor chord, and you've got a 5, and there's major thirds everywhere. So maybe that's the idea, switching back and forth and letting it ride, and then resetting, and then letting it ride, and then reset. So that's kind of the thing, and it's not about perfection, and it's really not about sounding like George. It's about getting some time on the horn, practicing, and being mindful. And I think that's a lot of what George is saying. He's just saying, don't go out, stay safe, and practice. And this is a thing to practice. So that's all he's really saying, I think. And so definitely go check out George's YouTube. George has got a YouTube page, George Garzone, and he's been putting out little videos. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a very, very interesting guy. And I highly suggest, if you don't follow George, to check him out. So that's a little playing. I generally find when left to my own devices, I don't really play somebody else's concept. But the idea is just keep practicing it, and then it sort of comes into your playing. And that's happened just from years of listening to George, So there you go. Little tenor saxophone today on the pandemic time. Again, stay safe and well. And thanks for being here with us on Saxophone Geek. Take care.